Hey guys, it's Nick from TheSportsEntertainer and we're back with another wrestling video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about why WWE really does have a pretty serious problem on their hands when it comes to Roman Reigns, and the reasons why. In all honesty, this is more of a problem for WWE than it technically is for Roman Reigns, because at the end of the day, WWE is going to be in a bit of a panic sooner rather than later. Now it goes without saying that Roman Reigns is the WWE's biggest star, or their flagship star, with Roman Reigns quite literally holding both the WWE's World Championships, following his massive title unification win over Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 38. And while WWE have truly done a tremendous job building up Roman Reigns as this unstoppable force and making Reigns way cooler and more intriguing with his heel character and alliance with Paul Heyman, the reality is that Roman Reigns is not going to be in WWE forever. And the reason we're making this video right now is because in all actuality, Roman Reigns will likely be leaving WWE within the next couple of years, which does spell a bit of a problem for WWE, who have spent so much time and effort in really establishing Roman Reigns as far ahead and above the entire WWE roster, and clearly the top star. As most of you are likely aware, a big wrestling story last year was regarding Roman Reigns himself making it clear that his time in WWE won't be lasting forever, and that there comes a point when a transition needs to happen, with this likely referring to a move over to Hollywood. This is a quote Roman Reigns put out during a promo on Friday Night SmackDown last year. Quote, "I'm your tribal chief. I'm the greatest of all time, and when my days are done around here, which could be sooner than later, the whole world will acknowledge me." Furthermore, even Randy Orton has made it clear that he feels he will outlast Roman Reigns in WWE, despite already passing the 20-year milestone in the company, with Randy revealing that he believes he'll still be in WWE, while Roman Reigns is away and in Hollywood. Here's what Randy Orton said about Roman Reigns, quote, "I don't care. Roman Reigns, I'm sure he's got Dwayne Johnson's agent number on speed dial. Roman will be in Hollywood. I'll still be here. I'm in my prime. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a long way to go. My legacy will be that I did it longer than anybody." Now the rumors have continued to build up regarding Roman Reigns' move to Hollywood, and this basically causes a big problem for WWE. Who's going to be replacing Roman Reigns as a massive flagship star for the company? Some fans feel the likes of Drew McIntyre could potentially fill the shoes of Roman Reigns as the face of the company, whereas others are convinced that this role will be given to Cody Rhodes, who recently returned to WWE at WrestleMania 38. And there are also others who feel that because of the impending reality of Roman Reigns transitioning from WWE to Hollywood, that's the main reason why Vince McMahon has suddenly began pushing Austin Theory into the spotlight on Monday Night Raw, as some feel Vince is grooming Theory to replace Roman Reigns as a top star in WWE once the Tribal Chief leaves. In your honest opinion, do you see any of these stars having what it takes to replace Roman Reigns as a top major star of WWE? Or do you believe WWE has a serious problem on their hands once Reigns does decide to leave the company for Hollywood, which is clearly on the horizon and in the near future? There really isn't anything left for Roman Reigns to accomplish in WWE, especially since his title unification win at WrestleMania this year, and this is something even Reigns has stated in interviews pretty recently as a subtle reason for his exit from WWE soon, as he's really been there and done it all, and has nothing left to really accomplish or prove. In all likelihood, Roman Reigns will probably be sticking around in WWE through next year's WrestleMania 39 pay-per-view event, with that mega Roman Reigns vs The Rock match teased for the Showcase of the Immortals next year. But after that, the rumors of Roman Reigns walking away from WWE and transitioning into Hollywood could truly become a reality, and fans can only hope WWE have prepared for life without Roman Reigns on their active full-time roster. So now that we've covered why exactly WWE has a pretty serious problem with Roman Reigns, and more so the company once Reigns leaves in the near future, let's briefly talk about the few stars we had mentioned, who fans feel could theoretically replace the head of the table as the flagship or top star of WWE, once Reigns does decide to leave for Hollywood, which again could really be happening within the next year or two. Firstly, let's talk about Drew McIntyre. Now there's no doubt that many fans feel Drew McIntyre deserves another big push in WWE right now, and another world title run, so if Reigns is leaving in the near future, it wouldn't be too surprising if Drew was given a major push. Drew McIntyre's already an established former two-time WWE champion, and clearly one of the more popular stars on the roster besides Roman Reigns, with the right look and presence about him. But in all honesty, Drew McIntyre's definitely not the youngest guy on the WWE roster at 36 years of age. So by the time Roman Reigns leaves, Drew will kinda be reaching the later part of his in-ring wrestling career. So it is doubtful that Vince would really be pushing Drew McIntyre as the top star of WWE. Although there's no doubt that Drew would still be a main event level talent, just perhaps not the face of the company type of main event star. Now, Austin Theory, or now simply Theory, is kind of like the modern day version of Drew McIntyre, in the way that Theory has been handpicked by Mr. McMahon as a chosen one, so to speak. Although let's hope Theory doesn't need to get fired from WWE, reinvent himself on the indies, and then return to WWE at a later date to realize his potential in the company like Drew McIntyre had to. Some fans don't seem fully convinced that Theory is the future of WWE, but clearly Vince feels he is, hence why Theory has been given quite a substantial push on Monday Night Raw recently, and just defeated Finn Balor to become the new United States Champion, with many fans seeing the similarity to John Cena's early career in WWE with that US title before moving up the card, which lots feel is what's going to happen with Theory. By all means, Theory is definitely the kind of star WWE would see huge potential in, as he's still incredibly young at 24 and has a very long career ahead of him, so there's definitely some who feel Theory could be the superstar to eventually replace Roman Reigns as the face of WWE, although again there are those who still are not convinced that Theory has that much potential in WWE, at least not yet. And finally, we have the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, who has truly shaken things up in WWE following his momentous return at WrestleMania 38, where he picked up a massive comeback win against Seth Rollins in his return match. Now, lots of fans are sure that Cody Rhodes is going to be the star WWE will heavily push over the next few years, and possibly the star WWE utilize to fill Roman Reigns' shoes after the Tribal Chief makes the move to Hollywood. And it's definitely not a bad choice whatsoever, and Cody Rhodes could certainly pull off that top spot in WWE with the right booking. However, let us know who you guys would personally feel is the best replacement for Roman Reigns when he inevitably leaves in the near future, and are any of these three suitable for that position? Or is there someone else in WWE who you feel would be better suited to be the face of WWE, like Braun Breaker for example? Let us know, and we'll see you guys in the next wrestling video.